The Midnight Walk is a huge disappointment. And let me be clear, I love indie games, so much so that I devoted a big portion of my time on YouTube to focus on them, with no real success until recently. I am aware that when it comes to indie games, a lot of people get defensive and try to avoid anyone who criticizes them, whether they actually like the game or not. I know that because it happened to me. After I uploaded my Clair Obscur Expedition 33 video, I got a lot of hate. I spent 30 minutes praising that game because I genuinely think it's one of the best games ever made, and my only sin was criticizing it for about 2 minutes near the end. And that was enough to make the entire comment section blow up, calling me stupid and saying I shouldn't make videos about things I don't understand. It got so bad that I had to re-upload the video, and it never regained the same momentum ever since. Now, why am I telling you this? Because this deep dive video is about to be mostly negative, so I want to make sure that it is fair. I don't want to just trash talk a game without giving rational points that people can actually agree on. So, now that we cleared everything, it's time to talk about the Midnight Walk. The first time I heard about this game was during a game showcase, when I saw the trailer for the first time. On the surface, it looked really great. A dark fantasy horror game with stop-motion animation and models made from real clay. I thought it might be a hidden gem and that this was the perfect opportunity to feature it on my channel. But as we already know, everything turned sour. The first red flag was the price. Paying $40 for a 6-hour-long game is already pushing the envelope, especially in a world where Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree cost the same. That being said, the game did go on a 25% discount almost as soon as it came out, and my guess is that the developers knew something was wrong with it. Being blinded by its atmospheric nature, I went on to read some of the very positive reviews it has on Steam, which we'll talk about later, and ended up purchasing the game. Booting it up for the first time was very exciting. I was sure that this was going to be a game I could tell a lot of people good things about, and since it wasn't popular, it would make my channel stand out. But I couldn't have been more wrong, as things derailed sooner than I expected. The Midnight Walk is made up of 5 chapters total, with each one being about an hour long. And I can already tell you that playing this game felt like an eternal nightmare. I literally had to stop myself from falling asleep through most of the chapters. Now usually, I start my deep dive videos by talking about the story, but since I didn't understand a single thread of it, there is nothing to talk about. The Midnight Walk has the most inconsistent and incomprehensible story that I've ever seen in a video game. Nothing makes sense, because every character just blabs random stuff without telling you anything useful. That includes all the shell phones and cutscenes in the game. I get that the developers wanted to keep things mysterious, but this is not a way to do it. You need to make sure players actually understand what the hell is going on and be clear about key parts of the story. Most players can connect the dots if you tell a story in a non-linear way like Dark Souls, but if the dots don't make any sense, players can't connect them in the first place. A good example of this inconsistency is how every character complains about the lack of fire in this dead world, while there are literally giant boxes of matches everywhere you go in the game. One part of the story even talks about a village that froze to death because they ran out of matches, and I'm like, are you kidding me? It's literally right over there. It might sound stupid, but these inconsistencies really confuse me, and I think it just shows how little the developers cared about the story, which is really unfortunate, considering that walking simulator games like this live or die by their story. And don't get me wrong, I love these type of games. Firewatch is still one of my all-time favorite games, and I think Moonhood Studios could have learned a lot from it. It's about the same length as the Midnight Walk, but it offers so much more in terms of story and atmosphere, so I highly recommend playing that instead. Reading the positive reviews after finishing the game was an eye-opening experience for me. So many people were praising the story without making a single point about why it was so good, and I'm 99% sure that's because they didn't understand any of it, just like I didn't. They were trying to be kind toward an indie game that seemed really unique at first glance, but offered nothing once you actually played it. I think this kind of self-reinforcement is really bad for the future of video games, because not only are you fooling yourself, but also the studios making these games, encouraging their downfall. But to be honest, the blame also falls on me. I should have looked more into what people were saying and the number of reviews before deciding to buy this game. I also should have checked out the negative reviews to see what some players were thinking, even if there were only a few. There's one particular comment that pretty much sums up everything I'm about to say in this video, and if I had read that, maybe I wouldn't have made the same mistake. It's so funny, but even the two endings are literally the same, with the only difference being day and night. Regardless, there are a few more things I'd like to talk about, so let us move on to the gameplay, which, just like the story, is absolutely horrible. The number of game-breaking bugs that force you to restart the game from the menu is actually insane. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're crouched, he just sees you. Alright, I've restarted the game. This was bugged. This mission was 100% bugged. Restarting the game solved it. Okay, thank God. This is the thing we can hide in, right? Okay, yeah, there's gotta be a monster here somewhere. Oh, I got stuck? Not really, dude? A bug already? It didn't give me the option to leave. Okay, cool. We have to restart. In a 6-hour play session, I ran into 3 major bugs like that, and I have no idea how they slipped through QA testing. And that's not even counting the general list of bugs, like your companion Potboy getting stuck every time you call him because his pathing is broken. Where did he go? Where the hell did he go? Dude, why does... Normally, I'm not the type of player who cares about bugs as long as they don't crash my game. Which, by the way, this one also did.
The dark could be an embrace.
Bro, are you kidding me? The game actually crashed? But for a game this size, it is just too much. In addition to all of that, even the most prominent feature of this game, the stop motion animation, was lacking. Sometimes it worked as intended, but most of the time, it was just standard industry animation. You can see this clearly in the way this fuse burns. It starts off with regular animation, switches to stop motion, and then goes back to regular animation at the end. Maybe just me, but I thought the game was mostly going to be stop motion animation, and that's what drew me into it in the first place, so I was quite disappointed to see that wasn't the case. And you know what's funny? I talked about all those bad things without even mentioning the gameplay itself, so let's talk about it. Walking simulators are usually made up of interesting puzzles or challenges that you solve to advance the game. This is something the Midnight Walk fumbles spectacularly. All you do for 90% of the time is light candles and hide from enemies. You do get a matchstick gun that helps you light candles that are further away or even momentarily stop enemies by shooting at them, but that's pretty much all the excitement you get to have. There are few interesting challenges in this game, but they're nowhere close to saving it from the endless boredom it provides. I have no idea if the developers rushed this game or not, but to me, it seems like they had absolutely no idea what they were doing. Now this isn't all negative, so let's talk about a few positives this game has. First, I have to say that the music in this game is astonishing. It blends so perfectly into the atmosphere and adds so much flavor to the world. The way it works in tandem with some of the activities you do in the game is unparalleled, and I really wish other studios would take note of it. Second, despite all my dissatisfaction, I have to admit, the model designs in this game are 10 out of 10. It is very rare to see an out-of-the-box creature design that breaks the norm the way the Midnight Walk does. You can actually feel the personal touch each model was gifted with. The love of the designers pours out from their souls into the clay and straight into my heart. It is very rare that I speak like this about model design, but Moonhood Studios have really knocked it out of the park, so I have to give them credit. One more good point to mention is the voice acting. It can be serious, lighthearted, and downright funny at times.
This fancy stick. It's my favorite stick in the whole wide world. It's the best one in my collection. I got no better stick than this stick. Can't believe I found this stick. Oh, it's a keeper. Oh, it's so beautiful. Look at that stick.
It really makes the characters stand out and feel alive, and the narration itself is incredible. I wish more of the story had been told to us that way. Maybe it could have turned the entire game around for the better. But I guess we'll never know. To close things off, I think that the Midnight Walk had unfathomable potential to succeed, but it ended up failing due to sheer incompetence and lack of understanding of what the player base wants. I hope that in the future, Moonhood Studios will reflect on their mistakes and make their next game something that's actually worth the price. They truly have potential, and as the devout indie game lover I am, I'd love to see it fulfilled one day. I hope it didn't come off as disrespectful in this video. I really did try my best to stay unbiased and give rational points about what I didn't like in this game. But sometimes, people can take it the wrong way. I have nothing against the developers, and I truly wish to see them succeed one day. But for now, this is all I had to say. Whether you guys agree or disagree, make sure to let me know in the comments below, because I truly read all of them. I have some really exciting stuff coming in the next few weeks, so if you ended up enjoying this video, consider leaving a like and subscribe for more content in the future. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.